My name is attorney Nick Alcock, and I've been practicing law for over 20 years now. And I also have a business degree. And so when I got my joint JD MBA degree, I started doing research and I started learning about how do law firms work, how do they make money, and especially in accident cases, what is the prevailing way that lawyers conduct their business. And early on, I learned some things. I actually worked for some attorneys back in the early 90s. I did more research and I wanted to find out what makes the personal injury area of practice so saturated. Why are there so many attorneys who do this? And the reason for it is that attorneys can set their own fees and they get paid by insurance companies. And what happens is that they take a big cut. And then after they're done taking their big cut, they can charge file origination fees and fees to get medical bills and fees to get records. And they can charge all sorts of little nickel and dime stuff. So at the end of the day, lawyers are actually making more money on a case than the client, than the poor injured person who is in the car accident. So this is a very compelling area of law. This is obviously for someone who's going into business and they get to decide what they're going to do. There are a lot of lawyers out there that say, hey, personal injury, that's something for me because I get to do all of these things. I get to put myself in a situation where I can charge more than, and I can get more out of a settlement than what the client gets. And the poor client who's been injured, the poor client who's been through the ringer, and the attorney sits in the office and moves paper around and gets this big deal. So I came in thinking, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a way to do this that makes sense for people. And do lawyers really need to charge these hidden fees? And do they really need to take more out of a settlement than what their clients get? So I just built a law firm that said, nope, we're not doing that. We're not taking the little hidden fees. So you're not going to find the file origination fee, the $300. I saw $1,000 the other day on basically a retainer agreement that said that they had the ability to get $1,000 for just making photocopies and opening a file and asking for medical records, which is what the attorney's supposed to do. That's what an attorney's supposed to do. That's their job. So the idea that, I'm going to charge more money because I have to do my job, that doesn't make any sense to me. So we don't do that. And of course, we would never, ever put ourselves in a situation where we're taking more than a client. I asked myself way back in the day, I was like, well, why would a lawyer ever have to do that? What's the deal? Why can't they just negotiate with the hospitals? Why can't they negotiate with the doctors and say, hey, reduce your fees? So say that everybody knows that you go to a hospital and you get an aspirin, the aspirin's $20, and that's a bit inflated, and you can negotiate. If you're a good negotiator, if you're a lawyer, then you negotiate and you go to the hospital, you go to the doctor and say, hey, that $20 aspirin, let's make it $1. Hey, that bag of ice, that bag of ice treatment that's $100, we're going to make that $1. And how about we just look through this very, very carefully? And then I found out something very early on when I was speaking to these attorneys that I worked for way back in the day in the 90s. And what I found is that the lawyers don't want to do that because they have relationships with these doctors. And the doctors refer them cases. And so a doctor, of course, is going to refer a client, a patient to a lawyer who's not going to then come back and negotiate and reduce their $20 aspirin or their $100 bag of ice. They don't do that. And so as a consequence, the medical bills can be gigantic. They take the lion's share of the settlement, and then the lawyer comes in and takes his cut or her cut and takes the file origination fee and everything like that. And then the client gets whatever's left over. At our firm, we don't have those relationships with the doctors, and we negotiate like you can't believe. When we get a bill and the bill's outrageous, we'll call that doctor and be like, no, this is outrageous. We're not going to do this. And we have been very successful. When we do that, that's not money that goes into our pocket. That's not money. If we reduce a medical bill by $100, we don't get any aspect of that. That goes to the client. So there are a lot of personal injury attorneys that they're not interested in doing that because it doesn't feed their bottom line. The other thing is that if your car has been totaled, there are a lot of personal injury attorneys say, you know what, I just do personal injury. That's all I do. I don't do anything else. And because I don't do anything else, I'm not going to help you get the real value of your car. I'm not going to help you with the replacement value of your vehicle. So, what happens is that the poor client who's all been injured and dealing with all of the stress and mayhem, now that person's got to negotiate with the insurance company. But that's why you hired an attorney. You hired an attorney so the attorney would do the negotiation. And again, an attorney can make money and be just fine doing property damage and not relying on referrals from a doctor and negotiating those fees. And then 20 years later, we're on the top floor of the building. And we're here because our clients know, and we get referrals. They know that when you come here, you're going to get a very, very fair deal. You're going to get a settlement, which is unusual. And I built this firm on an unusual idea that we're going to take the market, we're going to turn it on its ear, and we are going to fight like heck for the clients, reduce those medical bills, not build relationships with doctors, not do any of that hocus pocus stuff, and don't do any of the $1,000 for the file origination. The rest is history. That's why we're here. So free consultation, just like everybody says, is free consultation, but just come here. Come here and check it out for yourself. 602-989-5000, 602-989-5000. Find out what makes us different, what makes us better. And I'm proud to say that I love helping my clients. So thanks so much. My name is Nick Alcock. I look forward to seeing you.